As many of you will know, Subnautica 2 was announced a while ago, and the early access is set to release this year, 2025. So, I'm going to talk about what things I'd like to see inside of the game when it releases. Okay, like and subscribe and let's get into it. First off, remember Below Zero and how unscary it was? Yeah, I think this time around they should delve into making things a lot more frightening. The first game definitely had some scary things going on with the Reaper Leviathan and definitely the Blood Kelp Zone, but I feel like we really need something way more scary. I'm hoping the new Leviathans in it will be extremely frightening, way more so than the Reaper and Shadow Leviathan. Don't get me wrong, the Reaper is cool and all, but this is the perfect opportunity to explore the horror aspects of Subnautica. We need more deep and dark biomes like the Blood Kelp Zone as well, just to make it a whole lot scarier and trigger people's thalassophobia. I feel like Below Zero really just wasn't scary, and after the first couple of playthroughs of Subnautica, it really also stopped getting scary for me. But I feel like the sequel to Subnautica has some real potential. We have a real opportunity here to make things way scarier and just so much more frightening, which I think would cause the game to be way more enjoyable, and probably a lot more popular as well. Another common criticism of Below Zero was the map's small size. Everyone seemed to dislike how the Below Zero map was way smaller, so I think now's the best time to build a map even bigger than the original Subnautica's. Yes, it might be a little ambitious, but what good is a sequel if it isn't way better than the original? More biomes, a deeper map, more Leviathans, more vehicles, everything. This has potential to be great. Seeing as though this happens on a different planet than 4546b, I think it's a perfect opportunity to expand the map way more and maybe do something different with the whole map border. In the original games, there was a crater edge which serves as the border so no one could go past it, but I think for this game, it's very possible that they have something completely different, and it gives the perfect opportunity to build more sequels and DLCs after that. Since Subnautica only had the Arctic biome in the main crater, because of lore reasons of the crater edge, and so I think this game should really be a lot bigger and just so much more massive and just way more bigger of a project. And I found that when watching certain YouTubers, they say that they're bored with their Subnautica Below Zero playthroughs. Why? Well, apparently it feels like the exact same game. So I'm thinking the gameplay for Subnautica 2 shouldn't be completely different, but maybe different enough so that gameplay feels fresh. Way more so than Below Zero ever did feel. I didn't dislike Below Zero in the slightest, but more interesting mechanics benefit Subnautica 2 a lot. Like, if we're taking Below Zero as an example, they introduced the new temperature mechanic, which basically makes you colder or hotter and can actually cause your death. And so I think this was a step in the right direction. Although everything else did quite honestly feel the same, apart from the temperature mechanic. So I'm really hoping that there'll be new mechanics. I'm not exactly sure what mechanics, but some ideas could be, making a better story, make it more story focused. Although that was one of the things that was a huge criticism of Below Zero, because a lot of people didn't really like the story to that. But I mean, except from the story, I think decompression sickness is definitely one of those things that they could add, where, when you go really deep and ascend too quickly, it hurts you. So I'm really thinking that is a great opportunity there that they can just put that inside of the game. I think they could also do things such as, like, obviously it doesn't really make sense that when you go really deep in your sea moth that it starts to crush, but you don't. So I think they should probably add more of that, so like if you get out and the water pressure will end you. I think that's something they could definitely put in, maybe make it a little bit more difficult, but I don't know, we'll see. And I've heard from someone that Subnautica 2 is going to use the Unreal Engine instead of Unity like the first two games. This is good because I believe it allows the developers to start everything from scratch and build the game from the ground up. This will allow for the game to be much higher in quality, especially with technology getting better to support the better graphics. And I want the game to be a lot more realistic and, well, less buggy than the first games. I think having more realism in the game, just making it so much higher quality, so much more beautiful and just like way better, it will be amazing, because it will probably make things a lot scarier as well, and I feel like it will just up the quality of the game so much. It's something that I really think we need to see in the game, just have it so much better quality, better textures, because obviously the first game, while it was good and everything, you can't deny the fact that it was really buggy at times, because you can easily get stuck. So there's the fact that, obviously, it's hard to be scared of, the Reaper Leviathan when it doesn't really look real at all, I guess. it doesn't look real, and so I mean it doesn't have to look real. It is a game, but I feel like an underwater environment kind of game with realistic sea creatures and terrain and stuff would look so much better. The first game did actually still look really good, and I'll give it that. But with the rise of technology recently, I think that, you know, we have so much more potential for quality in video games. And finally, this is the most important one for me, although it may not be for you. As was revealed in the trailer, Subnautica 2 is going to be multiplayer. It's probably the most exciting thing they announced for many people, and to be honest, I absolutely need them to make it local split screen co-op on consoles. This is probably one of the most important things for me. Being able to play Subnautica with your friends or family in the same room as you would be incredible. I mean, there's so many games out there that, you know, they just don't have, they're just not as good to play because you can only play them online and stuff. And if they were split screen, it would just be so much better. Take games like Overcooked, for example, The Escapist 2. Obviously they're completely different types of games, but they're some of my favourite games just because of the split screen mechanics. Or just, you know, local co-op as well. Other games like Minecraft, for example, one of those survival games you can play with your friends and stuff, it is amazing. Like, it's really good because you can just play it in the same room as everyone else. You know, you've got Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare. I mean, even Cuphead, games like that. There's just so many games out there that are just way better for me just because that they have the option to play local co-op. I feel like if Subnautica 2 doesn't do this this whole local co-op thing for consoles and stuff, I feel like the whole multiplayer thing will be meaningless to me because I would just have to play it on my own. So I'm really hoping that they put in this whole local co-op situation here, because this would it would make Subnautica 2's potential go from pretty good to just astronomical. Of course, obviously you might not agree with me on that one, but that's just my personal opinion. And well, that was everything I could think of that I wanted added to this game. It will come, you know, soon, so I feel like there is a lot of time for them to implement some of this. But yeah, thanks for watching, and please leave your suggestions for the game in the comment section below. Goodbye.